Cornucopias fam? Welcome to episode 6 of the Week of Leaks. It's been an incredible ride so far, and there's no slowing down. More leaks, more surprises, and more chaos are on the way. Let's dive in and see what happens.
Determined by straight lines right through the center of the domes, or are they drawn around the towns so that those towns can work together in district competitions?
That's not something that's. They should.
Dancing.
I don't know how much hangover there is, but it doesn't have to be an exact line like a pie chart that's going. We're gonna have some overlays very soon in the in-game map, so you can see what is this district called? Where are the district lines?
Yeah.
So you can kind of look at them like little provinces that you have around, but they will have about an even amount of space.
Perfect.
People's plots or lands will be selling. People will be moving out and moving in. So there's always going to be this buffer of just sort of random that's going on.
That buffer of random is probably gonna help with what you were talking about, Jupiter, earlier. I would have to say I would think that. That would help out with a little bit of what you're talking about of not being so fast and only a couple of hundred people.
Oh, can you? Yeah, sorry. Can you elaborate on how that would help?
How it would make it help it not feel so much. I think because of how much things would be changing. Now I can see how you're saying how like just the not running into very many people. But we've run into the people so far, and we're only a couple of people in the game. So you put 300 people, even in this big of area here, and things are evolving by day of people moving in, moving out, building, changing or things like that. I think that would kind of help with the instance of maybe only 200 or 300 people. It's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah. Now you see 6 people on the map, and you're like, "Oh, I want to go run into them. I want to go check them out."
I know for sure.
Yeah, 300 would be. Yeah, I have had fun with just there being less than 10 people, so 300 would be pretty crazy when you put it that way.
It's just 300 would be dope, much less thousands across the world playing.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the chat feature is going to be separated by only the sector you're on, or the sector or district you're in, or if you're going to be able to chat like globally as well. Because I think right now you can chat from everywhere.
Globally will probably be a stretch, maybe, but maybe you can like call somebody on their phone, no matter where they are, what instance,
or tap into that other area's chat, right? Like maybe you jump into almost like you jump in a Discord chat, right, or a zone. You could be like
that would be fire.
Sector 2.
That could be very immersive. Yeah.
Have to go to one of the consoles or whatever to be able to do stuff like that for in between or something, or you might have an issue with it because it might be interdimensional, kind of deal like you were talking about earlier, Jupiter, with the lore. There might be an issue with interdimensional communication kind of deal.
And you can actually see one of those computers behind me over my shoulder there.
Correct.
I'm in Toledo Valley right now.
That is correct. There.
Yeah, maybe you set up a little digital internet cafe on a land plot too.
Yeah, we can hook World Mobile up out there.
Ha! Let's go.
Shameless plug to World Mobile, bro. We'll see a little World Mobile, balloon over there, giving us some data in Solace 2.
That would be stupid fire.
Oh man!
Well, I already saw Crow had a big old banner up.
Crow's very involved.
Yep.
Crow is very involved.
Yeah,
he's just not actually involved as we are in the actual playing around of the game yet, because we haven't been able to build yet. But if you watch any of his videos, he talks. He's very into it, very, very into the game and everything else like that. But he's just waiting for the ability to actually build on the land plots, and then he'll probably have a crap ton of content on that because he'll just probably be playing it, like we are.
Eventually, they will all play it.
Yes. Ready Player One, right?
Ready Corn 1.
Totally sure if there's a equal number of each kind of place of interest in each district. Is there an intention to make sure that there's at least one of each, even if they're in kind of difficult
There's
to find.
supposed to be a
locations,
decent
or-
balance
Okay.
between things, but like I said, nothing's ever going to be exactly perfect. Right now, what you guys are seeing as points of interest are very primitive compared to what's going to be in the future. So there will be a lot more, and there will be a lot more variety of things in the future.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
I like that.
Is the intention for fishing for, whatever a place of interest of fishing is like all connected bodies of water going to share in that like spawn rate of fish, or is it
No.
is it going to be? It's not. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not really related. So, I mean, realistically, what you're going to find. I mean, I can talk about how this is going to work from a programmatical standpoint, but
Okay.
I don't want to give
can't
away
give too
too
much
much
alpha.
because I might.
Yeah.
We might lose the mystery. You're going to have certain fishing holes, right? A fishing hole in real life is a place that people go because fish usually gather around structure or something like that. It's a good place to catch fish. So you'll have those marked. There will be unmarked areas as well. You might come across an area that's really good for fishing, and maybe you don't want to tell anyone because that's your special fishing spot.
Yeah.
That very well could happen in the future. But essentially, you're going to have little zones. Imagine this water that we're looking across here, and look at it as almost like you kind of look at like a heat map. You'll have certain areas that will have a propensity for more fish than others, is what you'll have. And you'll have to kind of move around and keep casting out your line to kind of find an area that's more ideal. Where are the fish hiding right now? Can we tie it to things like in real life? Like, oh, it's a certain time of the day, the surface of the water is hot, so the fish have gone down to the deep waters, so you have to try to reach deeper water. I don't know yet, but we're going to make sure there's some very interesting things.
So they got into the lore a little bit there of the fishing in-game circle as it is, and how they're going to essentially program the lake water and the fish to move around by the day like they would in real life. So that's like something to really think about.
I'm so excited for the fishing. It sounds like it's going to be like their mini games are really like some complete games. You know what I mean? Like the racing is technically a mini game, but there's so much to it. It could be its own game. And I feel like the fishing is going to be the same quality and depth. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm looking for identifying those lucky off the grid or off the marker fishing spots.
And what he said about what we're seeing now with the points of interest is very primitive compared to what it will be, and that not only will it be more, it'll be more varied. So that's really interesting. I also wonder how complete will it be by the time the land rush, because you don't want to buy your plot based on what it is, and then there's, I don't know, so much change that you would have chosen something totally different. So hopefully they'll have a lot of it.
That's one reason why I'm buying land plots now to not use now, because we'll still have, Esperanza and whatnot to use them in. So I'm thinking of the future.
Oh yeah.
Now. And knowing that you don't want to just use all of them, even though, FOMO might set in and everything else, when it comes to it, who knows? Let's get them now. Who knows? But I hear where you're coming from on that, but that's also part of like the evolution of the world itself as well. It won't ever be the same that it is one day to the next.
Here's the thing though, right? I got a bunch of plots. I don't plan to put them all in Solace, but let's say you've got a bunch of plots, you put them all in Solace, Esperanza, and Fortune. Then the next 3 zones come out, right? You could buy more plots to put in those next 3 zones. But what if instead you let other people buy those plots and then you just trade with them? Like, hey, do you want a plot in Solace? I'll trade you for a plot in this unknown zone that hasn't come out yet. So even if you have a bunch of plots and you use them all, you could still trade your way into other zones, is what I'm saying.
They're still all NFTs. and there's still just a
Exactly.
deed. So you'd be deeding an unceded land plot to one that is there. You know, that does open up
or you could be trading with somebody else who's also attached their plot to a deed. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but what I'm saying is you can always trade your way around. Yeah.
Yep.
Whether you use them all too fast or not.
It doesn't lock you to that because you have the ability to actually trade it instead of like other games or other things like that, for sure.
And you really have that ability because you really own it. It's really in your wallet. You can really go trade it. Nobody can stop that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Web3 for the win on that one, for sure.
Governance opportunities, you know, like we kind of just discussed, you know, the players will have the ability to collaborate and vote on different impacts of what will happen in the Cornucopias universe in terms of infrastructure and, you know, maybe some other things too.
So, real mines are actually streamed
cool
in.
too.
These are levels that are built separately from the
Here we
world,
go,
and when
here
you
we
get
go.
close to an actual mine entrance, it's going to stream in that actual level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. That makes a lot of sense.
I don't think a lot of people got to play
Talked
the
about
mining
that.
before. That was mostly just at a conference, but
Nope.
some of the mines could be very, very big. So let's don't judge the mines until we're in the mines. Okay.
Fair game. Yep.
Let's do it that way. Are mines expandable? Yes, it could be that with updates and more manually, we open up more sections to a mine. Will mines dynamically expand, as there's been some talking about before? Probably not, because that was looked at as that's probably not a good idea from a performance and, you know, a lot of different standpoints. Because you get a good run on the game, everyone just goes in a mine, and it's like, hey guys, the mine has now filled up the entire underneath of Solus. So it's just not very reasonable to do it that way.
Makes sense.
So that kind of talks about how they're going to change over and have it run another instance and whatnot. So they are going to be able to expand them. They're not going to just do it on its own. But like you said, don't judge it. But if you judge this game before you get into it, you know, don't judge the game. I got you. I'm gonna listen to you on that one.
Yeah, just like in real Earth, there's limitations to how much you can mine or go into. So
it's about quantum activity. If you listen closely, and Scruffy gave us a little hint about that, when you're walking up to, you know, get into the towns, the PA system says some stuff, revealing stuff about quantum activity in particular towns. I have 1,000 thoughts, 1,000 questions about like ways that this could go, but can you tell us a little bit about quantum activity?
Yeah, so this is another thing that kind of feels like real life to some degree. But, you know, whether you live in different parts of the U.S. or wherever you're at, you have weather alerts of things that are going on. It's like, hey, tornado warning, storm warning, all kinds of things that can go on, riptide. In Cornucopias, they have an extra bit of bonus of having quantum activity. And it's sort of reported regularly, like, you know, the weather would be, especially if it's particularly dangerous. But you, in the future, you will deal with rifts that open up in certain areas on Cornucopias, and other players will work to close those rifts, and things that come out of them might be absolutely terrifying, that will absolutely kill a lot of players and have a lot of people running very scared until the rift is closed down. You also have to deal with things such as quantum storms that might roll through and give you a whole bunch of other issues to deal with besides just, you know, a creature wanting to munch your butt. So,
So on that one, they talked about a couple of those things there, and I like some of that. So what's y'all's thoughts on that?
I love it, especially the quantum butt munchers. So they're gonna munch your butt. No, but seriously though, like it's an unlimited potential type of idea. You could have anything coming through the rifts. You could have dinosaurs. You could have mythological creatures. Like it's just an idea that it just opens the door to almost endless types of, like, I guess we haven't got to that part, so I won't say that, but just the different types of things that could come out of that.
Yeah. I think it's coming next. I think it's coming next.
Okay. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You could have the Gambino crime family coming through.
Quantum Gambinos. I asked David once, what if you went through a rift as a human? Would you get tainted, right, and become like an evil quantum version of yourself? And he said, only a few have walked between the worlds, but he couldn't delve that much into the lore.
He didn't say no. Interesting.
So a few people have walked through a rift, and who knows what happened to them.
There might even be some things that are a little bit funny because we're dealing with the quantum realm. Things have been rearranged. You don't know what's going to come out of there. You might have something that comes out of there that's something that's extinct, that hasn't ever been, seen in our lifetimes. There's also, I think me and Jillian were talking about a quantum duck that comes out, and it's very cute and it's small, but it is the most terrifying enemy in the entire game.
Yeah,
we had a few jokes about that. I was joking that when it quacks, it kind of sounds like an A10 warthog, like it's like super loud, foghorn type thing, and it's just shattering things around it. But I don't know. We had a good laugh about that.
Yeah. That's hilarious and also amazing. That would be great. I remember Kopi laughing about something you saying about quantum duck. Yeah. That's
quantum duck's got to happen. So
yeah,
vote
definitely
for quantum duck.
# when quantum duck. In Kopi Cafe 100.
Quantum duck is actually coming. It has
quantum duck is insane, bro.
It's actually going to be a thing. My thing is there going to be quantum duck hunting? So you can full circle
it
back
sounds
to
like quantum duck's going to be hunting you.
well, and then you could full circle Jupiter back into quantum duck hunting in the future. Now, since you started hunting and with duck hunt, you can now then quantum duck hunt.
It's too much. That's too much, my friend. I'm gonna explode. That's too much.
Your alpha has been too much now.
Over. That's too much alpha. Listen, quantum duck is crazy, insane, wonderful idea. I would love to see that. And he was talking about the crazy quacking noise it has. Like, what if you hear that from a distance and you know that you're not equipped to face this beast, and you're just terrified and trying to get out of there because you hear that quack.
And you're running from a damn duck.
You're like, oh no, quantum duck is in the vicinity.
I was in the service, and one of the units I was in, our mascot was the duck. But we had shirts made that showed like a duck, and then its shadow was actually a dragon. And so we'd say, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, roars like a dragon. And that's what that made me think of.
I'm terrified of quantum duck. They've also talked about quantum creatures that are helpful.
That's a new one. That's a new one.
I mean? Yeah.
I ain't heard that one yet. And if you thought episode 6 was crazy, just wait until you see what's coming next. Episode 7 lands in 12 hours. Trust us, you'll want to be there. So make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe, the notification bell, and follow us on all of the social medias. Drop a comment down in the below and tell us what you think of this episode. Peace.